Cruise lines don't warn you about these changes. They just let you find out when it's already too late. And in 2026, some of these new rules are catching passengers completely off guard. Even people who've cruised for years. We're talking about being forced to pay for things that used to be free, having items taken off you before you even board, and new rules so strict you can actually get turned away over something as simple as what you're wearing. And the craziest part? Most of these aren't big announcements. They're quiet little changes, hidden in the fine print, slowly rolling out across different cruise lines. So unless you know about them before you go, you're walking straight into them. In this video, I'm going to break down 11 surprising cruise line rule changes in 2026 that you absolutely need to know before your next cruise. Because once you're on the ship, there's no undo button. Number 1. Paying for a second entree is becoming the new normal. For years, cruise ships sold one big promise. Order whatever you want. 2 mains? No problem. 3 desserts? Go for it. Want to try everything on the menu just because you can? That was part of the fun. But now, that's quietly changing. Some cruise lines have started introducing a fee for a second entree in the main dining room. We're talking around $5, sometimes more depending on the ship. Now, on paper, that doesn't sound like a big deal. But this isn't really about the money. It's about what it represents. Because cruising has always been built on that all-inclusive feeling, where you didn't have to think twice about what you ordered. And this is one of those changes that chips away at that. You go from ordering freely to suddenly hesitating, do I really want that second dish or not? And once that mindset kicks in, the whole experience starts to feel different. Because if it's a fee for a second entree now, what's next? Extra charges for desserts, premium sides, better menu options locked behind paywalls? It might sound dramatic, but that's exactly how these changes tend to roll out. Small at first, then slowly becoming standard across more and more ships. So if you're the kind of cruiser who loves trying multiple dishes, or just doesn't want to feel restricted on holiday, this is one rule change you're definitely going to notice. Number 2, everyone in the cabin must buy the drink package. This one catches people off guard every single time. Because most cruisers think, I'll just get the drink package for myself. Sounds simple, right? Not anymore. On many cruise lines now, if one adult in the cabin buys the alcohol package, every other adult in that same cabin has to buy it too. No exceptions. So imagine this. You enjoy a couple of cocktails each night, but the person you're traveling with barely drinks at all. Maybe they'll have one drink the entire cruise, maybe none. Doesn't matter. They're still forced to pay for the full package. And we're not talking small money either. Depending on the cruise line, you're looking at $60, $80, sometimes over $100 per person per day. So now that one drink package turns into hundreds of extra dollars for someone who didn't even want it. Now, the official reason? They say it's to stop people from sharing drinks, but let's be honest. This rule isn't about stopping sharing, it's about guaranteeing revenue. Because instead of one person buying drinks, they've now locked in 2 or 3, or even 4 people in a cabin all paying daily. And this is one of those rules that completely changes how people book cruises. Couples start splitting cabins, friends start doing separate booking. People look for loopholes just to avoid it. Because once you realize how much this adds to your total cost, it stops feeling like a holiday perk and starts feeling like a forced upgrade you never asked for. Number 3, you can't take drinks back to your cabin anymore. This one doesn't sound like a big deal at first, until you realize what it actually changes. Because one of the best parts of cruising has always been this. You grab a drink, head back to your cabin, sit on your balcony, and just switch off. No crowds, no noise, just the ocean. But now, some cruise lines are quietly tightening the rules around where you can actually take your drink. Especially when it comes to complimentary drinks, loyalty perks, or certain bar offers. They now expect you to drink it right there, in the bar, in the lounge, in the busy areas. No taking it back to your room. And this is where it gets frustrating. Because it's not just about the drink, it's about losing that quiet moment. Instead of relaxing on your balcony, you're now stuck finishing your drink in a packed bar. Music playing, people everywhere, waiting just to leave. And suddenly that free drink doesn't feel like much of a perk anymore. It feels controlled. Like the cruise line isn't just giving you a drink, they're deciding how you experience it. And when you really think about it, it starts to make sense why. Because if you stay in the bar longer, you're more likely to order another drink, maybe some food, maybe one more round. So what looks like a small rule change is actually a subtle way to keep you spending. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Number 4, multi-plug adapters and power boards are being banned. This one catches people out before they even step on the ship. Because most cruisers pack the same things every time: phone chargers, smartwatches, tablets, cameras, maybe even a laptop. And to make it all work, they bring a simple power board or multi-plug adapter. It's normal, or at least it used to be. Now, more cruise lines are cracking down hard on anything that expands a wall outlet. Power boards, extension leads, certain adapters, all getting flagged, all getting confiscated. And here's the frustrating part. Most cruise cabins only have a couple of power points to begin with. So now you've got multiple people, multiple devices, And suddenly you're all competing for the same two plugs. Phones dying, devices rotating on charge, people unplugging each other just to get a turn. Not exactly the relaxing holiday vibe you pictured. Now, the official reason is safety, fire risk, electrical load, all of that. And sure, there's some truth to it, but from a passenger point of view, it just feels inconvenient. Because something as simple as charging your devices has now become a bit of a daily juggling act. There are some workarounds, things like approved USB hubs or portable power banks, but even those come with rules depending on the cruise line. So this isn't just about what you pack anymore. It's about what actually makes it onto the ship. And if you get it wrong, you might not even realize until your bag gets held back, opened, and your stuff is taken before your cruise has even started. Number 5. Lounge chair towel wars are now being enforced. This has always been one of the most frustrating things on a cruise. You walk up to the pool deck, ready to relax, and every single good chair is taken. Towels on them, books on them, maybe a random flip-flop sitting there, but no people. And those people? Nowhere to be seen for hours. Well, because cruise lines have finally stepped in, but not in a gentle way. They're now enforcing strict time limits on unattended chairs, in some cases 30 minutes, sometimes 40. And if you're gone longer than that, your stuff can be removed, just like that. And it sounds fair at first. Everyone gets a chance. No more chair hogging, no more early morning towel runs. But then you start thinking about real situations. You go for a quick swim. You grab a drink. You head off to the bathroom. And suddenly you come back and your towel, your bag, your sunscreen, gone. Moved by crew or worse, picked up by someone else who thought the chair was free. And that's where the drama starts. Because now it's not just about finding a chair. It's about watching the clock. People timing each other, questioning how long someone's been gone, arguing over whether the rule was followed or not. So instead of removing tension, it kind of replaces it with a different kind of tension. More rules, more enforcement, more awkward moments on what's supposed to be a relaxing deck. And once this rule gets stricter across more ships, the pool deck might start feeling less like a holiday and more like a game you have to manage. Number 6. Stricter behavior rules are changing the whole vibe on board. Cruises used to be known for one thing: do what you want when you want. Late nights, loud music, dancing. People having fun all over the ship. That was part of the appeal. But now, that atmosphere is starting to change. More cruise lines are tightening the rules around behavior, noise, and what's considered acceptable on board. We're talking teen curfews being enforced, noise limits late at night, certain activities being toned down, even restrictions on the type of music played in open areas. And it's all being pushed under one idea: making cruises more family-friendly. Which sounds fine, until you realize what it actually means in practice. Because for a lot of cruisers, especially those who enjoy the nightlife side of cruising, it starts to feel like things are being dialed back. You might notice bars closing earlier, music getting quieter, security stepping in quicker, and less of that carefree atmosphere that cruises used to be known for. And it creates this weird shift. On one hand, it makes cruises feel calmer, more controlled, more structured. On the other hand, it can feel like the fun is being slowly regulated out. And this is one of those changes that really divides people. Some love it. They feel safer, more relaxed, more comfortable bringing family. Others feel like cruises are losing their edge. Either way, it's a noticeable change. And if you're expecting the same party at sea experience from years ago, you might be surprised at how different it feels now. Number 7. More everyday items are being banned or restricted. This is one of those changes that catches people completely off guard. Because it's not the big things getting banned. It's the small, everyday items you wouldn't even think twice about packing. Bluetooth speakers, smart luggage with built-in batteries, certain extension cords, even things like cabin door decorations on some ships. All now falling under stricter rules. And the problem is, the list isn't always obvious. It changes between cruise lines, sometimes even between ships. So something you brought last year with no issue could suddenly be taken off you this time. And that's where it gets frustrating. Because you don't always find out until you're at the terminal, your bag gets pulled aside, opened, and suddenly you're being told you can't bring something on board. No warning, no second chance. Now, the official reason is safety, damage prevention, keeping things under control. But from a passenger point of view, and it just feels like more and more restrictions creeping in, and it changes how you pack. You go from throwing in what you want to double-checking everything, wondering if something small might get flagged. Because once it's taken, you're not getting it back until the cruise is over. Number 8. New port taxes are quietly being added to your cruise. This one hits your wallet, and a lot of people don't even realize it's happening. More and more destinations are introducing tourist taxes specifically for cruise passengers. And the key detail? You're paying it whether you step off the ship or not. So even if you stay on board the whole day, you're still being charged, and it's usually not highlighted up front. It just gets rolled into your total cost somewhere along the way, added to your fare, included in fees, or showing up later without much explanation. Now, one charge on its own might not seem huge, but once you start stacking them across multiple ports, multiple people, multiple days, it adds up fast. Families feel it the most. 2, 3, 4 people? Suddenly you're looking at a noticeable extra cost for something you didn't really plan for. And this is one of those changes that feels out of your control. You didn't choose it, you didn't opt in, you didn't even necessarily use the port, but you're still paying for it. And as more destinations introduce these taxes, this is only going one way. Number 9. Automatic gratuities keep increasing and are harder to avoid. This one's been creeping up for a while, but now it's starting to feel locked in. Daily gratuities, those automatic charges added to your account for crew tips, have been steadily increasing across multiple cruise lines. And while tipping staff is important, the way it's handled now feels less like a choice and more like a fixed fee, because once it's added, it's not always easy to change or remove anymore. Some cruise lines are making the process stricter, requiring you to go in person, explain your reason, sometimes even making you feel uncomfortable for asking. And most people, they just leave it because it's easier than dealing with it. But when you break it down, this is a daily charge per person every single day of your cruise. So for a family or even just a couple on a longer trip, it adds up quickly, hundreds of dollars by the end. And when you combine this with everything else, drink rules, extra fees, added charges, it starts to feel like the base price of a cruise isn't really the full price anymore. It's just the starting point. And this is one of those changes that doesn't feel shocking all at once, but over time, you really notice it. Number 10. Muster drills are being taken seriously again. For a while there, muster drills actually got easier. You'd watch a quick video on your phone, check in at your station, done. No standing around, no long safety briefings, no waiting for hundreds of people to gather. It felt quicker, smoother, less intrusive. But now, some cruise lines are tightening things up again, and they're taking it a lot more seriously. If you don't complete your muster drill properly, or you delay it too long after boarding, you can be stopped from sailing. In some cases, crew will track you down, call your cabin, or make announcements until you show up. And if you ignore it, you're not just breaking a rule, you're holding up the entire ship, because the ship can't legally depart until every passenger has completed the safety requirements. So suddenly, this quick little check-in becomes something you really can't ignore. And this is where people get caught out. You board the ship, get excited, go exploring, grab food, start your holiday, and you think, I'll do it later. Then later turns into a rush, crew chasing you up, announcements being made, and a bit of stress right at the start of your trip. It's not complicated, but it is enforced. And in 2026, cruise lines are making it very clear. This isn't optional anymore. Number 11. Yes, even flip-flops are now being restricted. This one sounds almost ridiculous until it actually happens to you, because most people pack for a cruise thinking comfort first. Flip-flops, sandals, casual wear. It's a holiday, right? But now, some cruise lines are tightening dress code rules in certain areas, especially in main dining rooms, specialty restaurants, and even some indoor spaces at night. And they're actually enforcing it more than before. So you might turn up to dinner thinking everything's fine and get stopped at the entrance. Because of your shoes, no flip-flops, no overly casual wear, sometimes no swimwear, even if you've just come from the pool. And it catches people off guard, because this isn't always clearly explained when you book. It's one of those unwritten rules that suddenly becomes very real when you're standing there, being told you can't come in. Now, to be fair, cruise lines say it's about keeping a certain standard, creating a nicer atmosphere, making dining feel a bit more special. And that makes sense. But from a passenger's point of view, it can feel a bit over the top, especially when you're on a warm weather cruise walking around all day and just want to sit down and eat without worrying about what's on your feet. And this is why it makes such a strong final rule, because it's simple, it's relatable, and it's the kind of thing that can catch anyone out. You don't expect a cruise to turn you away over footwear, but in 2026, it absolutely can.